It's going to be a sea of green in MetLife Stadium. Sam Bradford and the Eagles travel up I-95 to face Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Jets in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Will Chip Kelly's offense bounce back and get their first win of the season? Will Todd Bowles' defense be too much for them? The coach, Herm Edwards, is in the house. Good to see you as always.
Yeah, it's good to be here. It's tough sledding for these Eagles right now. That's for sure.
All right.
A lot of different ways.
You still have a whole lot of heart in Philadelphia, right?
I do.
We need you to pick it, though.
Oh, pick it?
Yes. New York is a 2-point favorite. Who gets the W?
I think the Jets. The way that the Eagles are struggling right now on a lot of different fronts. And it starts with their front, actually. It starts with their offensive line play. That kind of makes this whole thing go when you think about what they're walking into. A dynamic defense in the Jets with a big-time front four, athletic players. Got a secondary that can snuff you out. And they're struggling. They're struggling to make third down conversions. And when you do that, this offense gets off schedule. That's a problem. Their defense has already been on the field about 38 minutes a game. When you think about what the Jets want to do, they want to run it and pound it on you. If they're able to do that, this could be a long day for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Stephen A.?
I don't even know what there is to think about here. Look at the Sam Bradford, and you know, just imagine how the Jets defense is salivating. I will tell you this. I'd give the Eagles half a chance if Darrelle Revis for some reason isn't able to play in this game, because without Darrelle Revis, even though you still have Cromartie and Screen and you know, just the crew of dudes back there with that David Harris, Gilchrist, and all of those guys, I just think that losing Revis takes away something from any team. Having said all of that, I expect them to play. And when I think about the Philadelphia Eagles, I think their defense looks a little bit better. I don't think that Jets offense is that great. They left a lot of points on the board against Indianapolis as far as I'm concerned. But defensively, I just don't see how they're not going to have a field day with this Eagles offense. Jordan Matthews is relatively young. So is Huff. Don't get me started with Riley Cooper. Zellick and Ertz at the tight end spot can do some things for you, but considering the Jets' ability to cover in their secondary, Lord knows how many blitzes Todd Bowles is going to send Sam Bradford's way. I'm picking the Jets to win this game, but I want to be clear, and I'm not joking. I'm very concerned for Sam Bradford. I don't think Sam Bradford is going to last this game. I believe that Mark Sanchez, at some juncture, will be inserted into this game. I'm just hopeful and prayerful that it's because Sam Bradford is stinking up the joint and Chip Kelly decides to go in that direction, rather than Sam Bradford going out there and getting himself hurt, because the Jets are going to come at him all day long. And I'm not going to lie to you, based on what I saw last week against the Cowboys, I don't know if Sam Bradford could hold up to it all. I really don't.
You both make good points. Stephen A's Bradford point is, it's a fair one.
Oh,
I am concerned for him.
Because
he can be breakable, man.
I don't think. I think he has courage.
He does.
He has to, you know, to come back from what he's come back from, but he's going to be tested this week. Stephen A. makes a great point, because they're coming to get him.
Now, I'm going to do something I rarely do on this show.
No, you're not going to do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. No,
I've been thinking about this since last night, and I wanted to hear what each of you said with the conviction with which you were going to say it. I've been doing this for a long time. And this is the classic case of the world thinks this is going to happen, and it doesn't. The world is on, you want to talk a bandwagon? It is dry. It's gone over the crest of the hill, and it's going 100 miles an hour straight downhill, maybe toward doom, because the betting public has bet this game from Eagles by 2.5 all the way to Jets by 2. That's a 4.5-point swing, and trust me, that is significant. It's monumental. It's a dramatic shift. Millions of dollars are being bet as we speak on the home team, because the other team looks to be a disaster. And I agree it is a disaster, but it's still a pro football team. And just 2 weeks ago, a lot of people thought it was a really good team, going back just before the season started, right? Because
a great offense.
lot of people picked this team. I think a consensus picked this team to win the NFC East. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah.
I know Stephen A. did, and I can't quibble with that.
That's right.
Okay?
I did.
So in 2 weeks, how can they go from that to that? I saw one sign of life. I saw the second half at Atlanta when, I don't know what happened. Sam Bradford got it in gear. He got a little rhythm going. They were protecting him. It was bing, 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 bing. They got the Falcons a little bit on their heels. And I thought they looked like the Eagles, like they did in those 4 preseason games, right? In the second half at Atlanta. And they should have won the game, but the little kicker missed the 44-yard field goal, right? That would have probably won that football game.
Why kick then on 4th and 1?
I don't know.
Why don't you go for it? You went for it when you're on the minus 30.
You did. You did.
You have to. You got to go for it.
Little Cody Parkey has been in a mental slump, and you've had those kickers who start to go south mentally, and they just can't get it back. But Chip is proud to a fault. He goes down with his own ship sometimes because he says, "My God, I picked this kid, and I'm going to stick by this kid, and I'm going to let him kick this." Right?
Right.
What?
I get where you're coming from, Skip, but I don't think this game is really about that. I think this is a type of game. Don't get me wrong. All bets are off if somehow, some way, Malcolm Jenkins and the crew are able to force Ryan Fitzpatrick into a few turnovers. I get you there. But outside of that, when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles as constructed from a personnel standpoint against this defense, what you gonna do? I mean, your best receiver is Jordan Matthews. We all know he can really, really play, Skip, but he's just a second-year player with Screen, Revis, and Cromartie in the secondary. I mean, I can't ignore that. I can't ignore the absence of help I anticipate Riley Cooper being able to provide. Chip Kelly literally talked about his schemes are not the problem. It's the execution.
Yeah.
So this is how he thinks. And even, let's say, for example, Skip, even if the offense is playing at a fast break pace, and at least, and let's say at the beginning stages, it's working. Ultimately, you've got your defense out on the field too much. You'll have a Jets offense that's not exhausted. And as a result, as the game wanes, who's going to be worn down? No matter what way you slice it, this is one of those games where I don't think it's about the odds makers. I don't think it's about the way momentum is flowing. I don't even think it's about Chip Kelly and his schemes. I think it's about the Jets defense up against a suspect offensive line and a quarterback in Sam Bradford, who I doubt is going to be able to hold up. A matter of fact, I'll go on the record and say this. In just this game, Skip, I think Mark Sanchez has a better chance of beating the Jets than Sam Bradford
right, that's
does.
fine, and that's fair. But I'm going to remind you of a few things. Eric Decker, doubtful at best. I don't think he's going to play.
No.
Owusu is out with the surgery. He's gone for 3 or 4 weeks. So all of a sudden, it's pretty much Brandon Marshall or bust for Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Is Smith
right?
coming back? Isn't Smith coming back? Rookie?
I don't know for sure.
I think he might be.
I didn't check on that one, but you've got that Anunwa. Stephen A. likes him. You can throw it to him.
I
He's
liked
that
him.
quasi sort of tight end wide out. But it's mostly Brandon Marshall or bust. And then you mentioned Revis. I don't know if he's going to play. He really takes care of his body. And sometimes when he's got something that's 50-50, he just says, I don't think I should risk this one. So that would be slight advantage Sam Bradford. And then you mentioned Jordan Matthews. I'm going to mention Ryan Matthews. DeMarco Murray's got a hamstring, and they say he might, but they announced that he's available to play. Ryan Matthews, I think, is a better fit for that offense because he's a little quicker out of the blocks. He might be able to do what they do better than DeMarco does. So if you start him, you might see a little bit of new pop there, just a little bit. And so if the Jets kind of rested on their laurels coming off the big Sunday night win, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pick the upset here. I'm going with it.
And that's fine. And
I'm going.
I think if you're the Eagles, the way you survive this is real simple. You have to convert third downs.
Okay.
Sproles has to be a big part of this offense.
He disappeared Sunday. I don't know what
Sproles
happened.
and the tight ends.
Yeah.
Don't even think about throwing the ball outside the numbers. You're going to get canceled out. You got to The tight ends and Sproles have to be big factors in this game. Make their linebackers try to cover them.
Okay. Good. I'm with you. And remember, your guy, Rod Marinelli, he has had Chip's number in Philadelphia. So let's not overreact to what Dallas did to Philadelphia. Go ahead.
I'm not going to overreact to that either, but I think in Chris Ivory and Bilal Powell, Skip Bayless, you have two hardcore runners, both averaging over 4 yards a carry. If, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying bet your money on them. Please don't get me wrong. I'm simply saying that we have questions about the resolve of the Philadelphia Eagles. They've got quickness. They've got talent. But are they rough riders?
Yeah.
Can they really beat you in the trenches? That has been the question of the Philadelphia Eagles thus far. And I'm one of those guys that if I got questions about you in the trenches and you're going up against an elite defense, then I'm going to go with that elite defense because there's a question mark about you in the trenches.
Okay, remember, Chris Ivory is listed as doubtful. I'm pretty sure he's not going to play. Now, I like Bilal Powell, so I give you that one. But in the end, I'm just going to go with the phenomenon of just when you think it has to be that way, I'm going to go that way. I'm going to go 2017.
You know what?
2017 Eagles. Don't do it to me.
No, you know what? I was going to go Jets, but I think I should side with you here.
No, don't,
Yeah,
please.
I know.
Please don't.
I think I should.
Oh.
You guys missed it earlier
please.
in the meeting. Yeah, I'm a big Jinx.
Are you gonna do it again?
No, I'm not.
Thank you.
I'm Jets 17-6. Did you see the panic in your voice?
I got the Jets.
He got
I've got the
physically
Jets
hot.
22-16.
Well, you're picking it pretty close after the case you made. You made like a 40-6 case.
The case that I made is that the Jets' defense would be too much for the Eagles' offense when all was said and done. And I'm not giving the Eagles' offense more than 16 points. I think that's more than reasonable.
I don't do points. I'm hoping I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
Someday he's going to learn and come around that I'm
We'll
really
see.
good luck.
Oh, you're good luck. Okay.
To the other New York team, the New York Football Giants, they got a win at home. Are they now a real threat in the East? Herm will stick around for that one. We're going to tackle that subject next. Stay here.